Welcome to the living room. We are back for another episode. Tonight's episode is all about love in all flavors. Chris Hemsworth, Jake Gyllenhaal, Bradley Cooper, all very sexy men that I would love to date. But could a chocolate girl like me really stand a chance? Well, tonight we will uncover all the taboos and break the ice on interracial dating. Coming up, we'll take a look on how a black woman and a white man cross paths online. The cast will show you how to score a date with one line, and we have a debate that will blow your mind. Stay tuned. Alright guys, when are we leaving?
When my eyebrows are done, how are they?
They look good. They
so
look
over your eyebrows.
I don't know what shoes to wear. What do you think?
Where are we even going?
Like
We should go in Arlington.
Why not DC?
What's in Arlington?
Cute guys. They buy you drinks.
Ooh, I'm
Lots
for
of
it.
guys. Seriously. Lots of guys.
White guys?
What's wrong with that?
I don't know. I've never dated a white guy.
Maybe you should try it.
You've never dated a white guy?
Have you?
I have.
When did you date a white guy?
In high school.
You never even told me.
What happened?
So we went to the movies, and all he kept talking about was rap and his trip to Africa. I was just like, I'm not trying to hear that right now. I'm trying to watch the movie.
That's kind of funny.
No.
Anyways, how big was his penis?
We didn't go that far. We didn't get to that.
What do you mean you didn't go that far? You had the only opportunity.
It was one date.
Anyways,
Oh, well that's, you know.
I mean, there was this one white guy.
So you dated a white guy?
I didn't date a white guy. I just admired one.
Oh,
You
okay.
seem to like you.
I mean, white guys don't like me
Why do you say that?
because I'm black.
Yeah, because you're black.
Duh. You guys have heard of OK Cupid, something like that?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I mean, I've never really, been on a dating thing.
Ugh, what the? Who is this?
Did you get a message?
No, I didn't get a message. It's this idiot here.
Oh, no.
Is that your ex?
We broke up like 2 days ago.
Why don't you try to find someone?
Yeah, let's
I
find.
Look at some white guys.
MMA.
Exactly,
And I'm
exactly.
I want to
It's kind of an emo
ride.
picture.
I want to
though.
ride what?
Drop it low 85.
He's gay.
Get down 57.
No.
No, that's not
Wow.
classy.
Jockey
He's not bad.
full life.
Yes, he is.
None of these guys are cute. Who is this guy?
Oh, he's cute.
He is kind of
Oh.
cute.
Oh.
Arlington.
You live in
guys-
Arlington.
you guys have things in common?
63% match.
Let's go find him.
Whatever. Anyways, let's just go. Are we going to do
Wait, eyebrows.
They look
care
fine.
about your eyebrows.
What am I getting into tonight? I haven't been on OK Cupid in a while. Let me check that out. Is that good? God, cute, sexy Lex? Ooh, nope. Yikes! Damn, girl. Queen Char. Okay. In DC. I'm a lady. I love Jesus, and I'm African. All right. Yeah. Love Nafi. Okay. 63% match. Sounds like she's smart, got a good head on her shoulders. People always say they notice my smile. She got it going on, that's for sure. What's up, man? Okay. Yeah, you guys ready? All right, let's roll. I don't know. Maybe I'll take a chance here and just send her a message.
Wow, that was a really interesting segment, Clayton.
It was an interesting segment.
So, I'm really curious. If you were to really hit on me in real life, like, what would you say?
Oh, you wanna try out some pickup lines?
All right, let me see what you got.
Okay. I got one.
Okay.
What's up, girl?
Hey.
Thicker than a bowl of oatmeal. No.
I think I dropped something.
You dropped. What'd you get? I get it.
My credit. Can you help me pick it back up?
Why are you following me?
Well, you know I was always taught to follow my dreams.
What? All right.
Okay.
Hey, what's up, girl? How you doing?
Hey.
Word around the hood is you ain't got no father figure in your life.
What?
Yeah. So would you like a new daddy?
No.
Thank you, dear. Well, you're very supple. It's like I was at your age. Back then, I was a sex expert. Used to call me the buttered biscuit. I know about birth control, too. So you can ask me anything, baby.
Bedsider.org has birth control information and a lot more. And it's...
Have you had sex in this car yet?
It's time to get this convo rolling. I think everyone really wants to know the truth. So, my first question is for Clayton.
Yes.
Clayton, so do you think that white men are afraid of black women?
I don't think white men are afraid of black. I don't think it's a matter of being afraid of like one or the other. I think it's they might be afraid of the unknown. I think they're afraid of like the differences. They're afraid of maybe what they didn't grow up with, the experiences that they didn't really have. They're not afraid of black women, but I think they're afraid of the unknown of what black women bring.
What comes along with it?
Maybe it's not that they're afraid. Maybe they just are not attracted to black women.
So would you date a woman who wore her afro and had a big ass and was maybe as dark as, I don't know, Viola Davis, which is pretty dark?
When I'm choosing somebody to date or a partner or whatever you want to call it, I base it off a lot of things.
But you know what? I feel like when it comes to the subject of interracial dating, a lot of people bite their tongue on it for fear of being called racist or prejudiced or being ridiculed. And then an example I want to use is Alabama didn't legalize interracial marriage until 2000. But
Which is crazy.
Right, but 47% of the population was against the legalization of interracial marriage. So that just goes to show how there isn't a good representation of how people actually feel. You know, when we're in a friendly setting, you're going to say, oh, yeah, I support it. I'm not going to sugarcoat anything.
Right.
In America, black and white people dating is the most controversial form of interracial dating. And I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm not okay with it. I don't like it.
So you don't even think it should happen?
No, I mean, honestly, with me,
Can I just make a point though? She said 47% of the population wasn't okay with it.
they didn't want it.
Right, and so I think most people are going to go right to thinking that's all white people.
Are you
But
talking
it's
about within
not.
the state of Alabama
Right.
And what
or
you
the
just
nation?
said
The
is
state of
it's not.
Alabama.
It is
It's
the
both
South.
sides.
It is the South.
Yeah, and it's a
Absolutely, but do you hear
majority.
what she just said she's black and she's saying she's not okay with it.
Right,
I
I'm
wanna make
not.
that
The
point.
statistic sounds like 47% would be, oh, all white people are
White
against
people,
it,
but
but
it's
that
not. So
statistic
Why,
That could
why
also-
is she okay with it?
For me, you know, if I were to date a white person, or in the past when I have dated a white person, I know that I'm not supposed to take out what happened in the past to this generation of white people, but subconsciously in my mind, I'm always reminded your forefathers are responsible for the repression, the spiritual rape of my people. And when I see my people in America, they're lost. They didn't get to develop. Their culture was taken away from them, their language,
But that's still kind of a sob story, though.
well, you're asking me why, and I'm telling you that's what plays in the back of my mind if I were to talk to a white person, or when I am talking to a white person.
Interracial marriage because
That's
white
what
people?
subconsciously plays in my mind, but also I'm all about building the black family.
if that is that deep ingrained in your mind, then there's not really an argument for that or against that. That's just how you feel about it. But I fully disagree with it. Obviously, in my past history and my past dating history shows that. I just think that stuff, if we are past it, and I think the only way to truly get past it, and some of those things that you're discussing there, is just to try to embrace where we're going in the future and try to just take this thing to a place where we don't have such hang-ups.
I just think it's a bunch of BS though, and the reason why I'm telling you that
What's
is
BS?
because not what you said, but I just feel like, you know, like you're talking about going towards the future and being all happy-go-lucky, but the reality is when I go out, white men do not approach me, and they don't approach anyone, a black woman. That not to say I'm not confident in myself, because I am, and I know that black men approach me, but I'm telling you, it's like a standard, whatever that means, white man does not approach me because I don't look a certain way. And I think that is a commentary on the standards of beauty and what white men
But are you
see
perceiving
as
it as
beautiful.
not looking a certain way? I mean, how do you know
Yeah,
why
I
they don't approach you?
And I do. So, I mean, and that's my thing. And that's why we're having this conversation, is because I feel like, you know, I guess the question of hand is, why is that? Why is there still a fear there? Is it historical, because of those historical things? Like white men feel like, oh, we can't date a black woman.
Maybe it has to do with kind of what she was saying, though, is that maybe they've heard black women say things like what she's saying. Like, I'm not okay with it. I would not date a white guy because I want to keep my culture. And they're kind of like, oh, okay.
This is true, because sometimes it is just a preference. It is about taste. I mean, what you grew up seeing, what you grown up being presented with. I mean,
it's a lot to do with your parents.
I want to
parents, but then also it's like, let's say if I grew up in the black community and I branched out, went to college, and actually had my first interaction with those of a different race or ethnicity. I mean, I've just been accustomed to something 20 odd years. I mean, it's not just, it could be something where I do want to experience something new, but many of people, they're just accustomed to something.
Like accustomed and conditioned almost.
Yeah, so
Conditioned to be a certain way and to view a certain people a certain way.
Right.
Whether it's right or wrong, it is what it is. I don't know why. I don't know. I can't speak for why white men haven't hit on you.
The reason why I don't think a white guy is going to approach a black woman is I don't think it's fear. Because when you say fear, it's like, I want to talk to her, but I'm scared. I just think overall they're just not attracted to you.
I think it's preference. I have at least 2 girlfriends that are white that I can think of right now, and their preference is black. So, you know what I mean? I'm just saying, like, it goes both ways. Like, that is their preference.
Why do white women desire black men? Like, oh, they want this dark chocolate, and then why is that?
That goes back to the days of slavery,
the size of their penis.
Wait, we're talking about 2 different things.
I'm just saying. It's nothing new. They've been desiring black men.
I've heard that's why white women go after black men, because of the size of their penis.
Yeah, because they're sexual, and that's the same thing for reverse. Like white men like black women because they have big and that whole thing.
Well, if you go back to what you said, though, doesn't that work both ways too? Because isn't that why sometimes when people see a white man with a black woman, they're thinking the same thing. That it goes back to the days,
like sexual,
almost like a possession thing. Is there a race that is more accepting of it? I mean, is it because it always sort of, I feel like, gets thrown back on white people are against it and against the interracial thing.
I don't think it's that. I think it's both ways.
It's absolutely both ways.
Is there more acceptance?
And it's not only white and black. It's Asian.
Wait,
it's Latino. It's whatever.
This is definitely the most controversial.
Mary, what are you saying? You feel like it is?
I feel like it's both. Like he was saying that he thinks that a lot of times when people don't approve of it, it's thrown on white people. Like, oh, it's the white people that don't want it. But it's both. Like
I don't think the media looks at it just white people. Black people don't want it either.
I mean, as a white person feel that way.
I think with white people too. I think it's you're talking about preserving a heritage. You're talking about you don't really want to go that way, and you don't want your offspring to go that way because you want to preserve a heritage. Sometimes I feel like white people, we don't even look at having a heritage. We know kind of where we're from. I know I'm kind of a mutt. I'm kind of mixed with some English and Belgian and Irish, but times are changing. And the people that approve of interracial relationships has went from like 13% in 1987 to like 57%.
But that's the thing. Like, people say they approve of interracial dating.
Really
oh, I have friends that do it, but what about your kids? Oh, my kids? Can't.
Haji, I have a question for you. What do you feel about how athletes, when they or maybe a lot of people in celebrity status, when they reach a certain level of success, they tend to, I guess, date a woman that's not of their race. What do you feel about that?
So when it comes to that, there's this whole theory that, you know, the person who you came up with when you had nothing should be there when you actually make it, right?
Yeah.
Right.
But
you want to get all brand new?
not necessarily. Well, here's the thing. Not necessarily because
do.
black women also have this stigma of being the angry black woman, right?
But why are they angry?
Because
You only get the man's side of the story.
Hold on,
but
can I
why are
speak?
they
Can I
angry?
speak? Can I speak?
Because you acting like a child?
No, not
you're
necessarily.
getting the
Not
angry black
necessarily.
woman.
Let's say if you guys came up from a difficult environment, right? You guys came up together. You guys are like this, but once he actually reaches that actual status where he has everything, where fame and money is exactly. I mean, first of all, it's one thing to be a man, right? It's another thing to be a successful black man, where you're like part of the 1 or 2%.
But you're not answering the question.
I'm getting to
getting
that. What I'm saying is this. There are women of other races who, I'm not going to say are totally submissive, but are more submissive than the standard black woman. And when it comes to a successful black male, like I always say, there's no price on peace of mind. And sometimes, you know, Shaniqua from the hood or whatever like that, when you actually make it, can't like give you that peace of mind.
Really? I think that is a generalization.
Not really.
I do.
Not
No,
really.
that's
All those
it.
people
No,
you
that
named,
is.
all of those. No, it's
That's
not. No, it's
answer.
not.
So
We're talking
basically,
about
all I'm saying
celebrities
is that I
and why
just
they
feel
left.
like celebrities. I feel like people use interracial dating to their advantage.
I guess,
Like
but
when you reach a certain status, you literally get to a point where you feel like you can have whatever you want because you kind of
You're open. It's
I think
accessible,
that's true to some
so it
cases,
doesn't really
but I
matter.
also think that it's a lot to do with standards of beauty, and I feel like a lot of people ignore that.
I'm not familiar with the black girls that they're dating, but are they the token black girls, or are they?
Well, what do you mean by that? Explain that, because I think that's a very important point.
it is an important point.
My definition will probably be different from society's, but when I say token, I mean real. You know,
Hood.
no perm,
Yeah.
just natural.
Oh,
and
yeah.
so I ask, these black women, are they dating? Do they have weave? How do they act? Do they act do they act white?
Finally spit it out.
Yeah, I was trying to
Do
beat
they
it
act
around
white?
him. I was like, forget it. Do they act white?
Yeah.
Are these the type of black women they're dating?
I think you can't really
I
say
don't think
that
a
they're
white
not
man
really
will date
black.
a real black girl. I think
What do
he'll
you
date
do? So
he'll
if
date
they have
a
a
weave,
black
if
they act
woman
like a white girl,
that's
they're not
into
black?
white culture, like the Western culture. I don't think he'll date, like, say, a black woman who's into her roots.
Yeah, but I've seen you put in like little pieces of fake hair before. Does that mean you're not really black?
Good point. Good point. No, I'm really black, but what I'm trying to say is these specific white men that we're talking about. Because, you know, Nafi is a different kind of black.
She's like a
woman.
Nubian
Real black.
queen. Yeah.
She's like real.
She's black.
She's like
There is
real.
certainly- there's
Come
no
on, you
doubt.
can't really say
There's
real
no-
black
this
and
is the
fake
question.
black. It's
Do
just
they
black.
look like Nafi?
You know?
Do they look like Nafi? Those white men that are dating black women, do they look like Nafi?
The
No,
whole
I
thing that
understand
happened
what you're
in
saying.
Hollywood, they did with the white celebrity chef and the black girl, and they thought that the police were questioning, and it was
but you
like
know
a
what? There are
prostitute,
some
but-
white. No, let me take this back because I have a couple friends who are married to white men. I have about 2 that I've known, and they are
Which
black
goes
women
in
that
line
look
with
like
the
me.
statistics.
But sometimes, let me tell you, and this is generalization, but those white men tend to be like real nerdy, real plain, like not like you.
Okay.
They look like
Well, look,
they was in science class.
when we
all
grow
the
up
time.
and there's people, there's a minority of people and a majority, and we don't really mix all that much to begin with.
I think that is
there's
what
gonna
it
be
is.
really small numbers of people
Right.
ending up together, just based on the numbers of people and how we don't really intermix that much in society, especially growing up. Like, we live here in DC, we live in this multicultural melting pot of all across the board, but that is not America, and that is certainly not the majority.
All right, guys, you gotta take a quick break, but when we get back, we're gonna continue this conversation.
Hi, my name is Cosmos, and welcome to She Memes. Our first meme: white chicks dating black guys be like, he wants me to make chicken again. Well, let me tell you something, Becky. You need to expand your seasonings outside of salt and pepper and stop throwing it in the oven all the time. Maybe look into adobe seasonings and throw a chicken on the fryer sometimes. Stop struggling with Chantanique and get you a Jennifer. If you weep. Black men know what I'm talking about. State's high school dropout with 2 baby mamas who's been in and out of jail, genuinely surprised when he F's over the relationship. Black women, there's nothing wrong with supporting your black man, but this is when you date a white man and you take out all your frustration out on him, and then when you're done, find you a good black man, not a child. I approve of interracial dating. I often catch jungle fever myself. That's funny. I often catch caveman fever myself. What is that thing they used to do? Beat a woman over the head with a club, drag her to the cave, and rape her until she had children? Yeah, that sounds sexy. Once you go black, you're not welcome back. That's fine. You need to get with the winning team. That's what Iggy Azalea is doing. I'm your host, Cosmos, and thank you for watching She Means.
Hey, welcome back to the living room. Today we're talking about interracial dating. Guys, I had a question I just wanted to throw out there. I know we've been speaking on the taboos of black women dating white men and white men dating black women. What do you think are some of the more acceptable interracial, what do you think are some of the more acceptable races that intermingle with one another within the states?
I personally think, I mean, from my point of view and like where I'm from and from the Southeast point of view, I think white and black are the most accepted because that's mainly what we have down there.
I think Asian and white.
There we go. Asian and white, definitely.
Asian and white.
Definitely.
Spanish and black.
Spanish
there we
and
go.
black.
Those are the two right there.
Asian
in
and
my
white,
personal
Spanish
opinion.
and black.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But why do you think Asian and white?
Because like their baby can still come out looking either one or the other. I feel like
That's a weird.
No,
what does that mean? I think it's just accepted because Asian and white sort of seem to. They kind of are on the same. They seem like they're on the same
social
class
status.
and
Yeah.
same. They kind of have the same ideals. They seem to have the same view on life. They're kind of both can be.
Ideals. I'm not sure about ideals
I don't know about all
because
that.
Asians are a lot more conservative.
And first of all, so basically,
conservative white people.
but when a black, and that's the point though, because even if a black person has money, if they marry a white, if they marry into a white family, there's still the potential for it to look as like a downgrade, as opposed to you do Asian and white. It's like, oh,
that's
well,
what we're saying,
you
on
know,
the same like social level, right? On the
right.
same like they're sort of put on the same
They're put
level.
on the
it
same
seems like. And in
Same
DC, you
pedestal,
certainly
yeah.
see the white man and Asian woman the most. I
Often.
think of all interracial
Yeah.
couples, I think you see that
Absolutely.
by
Yeah.
far the most.
Yeah, and I feel like maybe it's just like, you know, I mean, I think that's accepted. I don't know why. I guess maybe it's what you said.
We know
I don't
why.
know.
We know why it's accepted.
Why?
Because
When Asians came here, they saw what could possibly get them to the top, or what
You
could
think
keep
that's
them
why?
in. I definitely think that.
Man,
It's the
I don't
truth.
know. I
It's
don't
the
know.
truth. I mean, listen. All right, Asians come over here, right? You got white people, you got black people, you got Latin people.
How do
Which
y'all
one are you gonna pick out? Besides their own people.
you're saying they're opportunists.
They are
They are they
opportunists.
not? Are they not?
I mean,
How do you guys get in relationships? So I personally get in relationships with people I like, with people that's
That's
personalities
you, though,
match
Zane.
up.
Not everyone's like that.
Yeah, but
Some
you,
people-
are we really saying that everybody's like an opportunist in their relationships? I think probably more than likely those two people just happen to get along the best.
No, I think
I'm talking about the
that's
Asian
a
family,
Barney
with the-
story that
the
you're
I mean,
view
it's
of
a
the
Disney.
Asian
It's a
family.
Disney movie.
story.
You
Yeah.
watch a
Maybe
Disney
I live in
movie.
a, maybe I'm
You
an
do
ideal.
live in a
I
Disney
think so.
world.
I love it though.
It's
It's
a
so
curtain.
pure. I love
There's a
it.
curtain.
Really
Positivity.
you do, you know, get into your relationships based off of what you want, and that's you. And sometimes you have a hard time realizing that other people are, all of us do, not just you. And because that makes you happy, you're like, why would you get into a relationship for any other reason? I feel the same way, but some people are really.
But you have to
about-
realize what people originally went into relationships for. back in the old days, it was
Right.
for marriage, and back in that time,
That's true.
marriage was
And-
to get to a certain status. You
Right.
didn't marry poor, you married
Financial
rich.
status.
Right.
Yeah.
Financial, so all of that comes into play, even though subconsciously we may not know what's going on.
Like you guys are just able to intermingle and assimilate. Like you guys have no problem
German,
with that.
London,
you know?
whatever.
Exactly.
How do y'all
Amsterdam.
feel about that? Do you feel like people use race as like a personal identification
Of
thing?
course.
It's a social, to me, it's a total social construct. There's no difference genetically between us.
Not at all.
It's a social construct created for personal
Yeah, but
identification.
the
I know
way
you feel like it's
the way each race experiences life is different.
very different.
Yeah.
Very different, and that's why my views on everything, and maybe that's why I can't really see your point on how, you know, everything's like real la la land. It's because I've experienced.
But
Life
isn't everybody in the
differently.
pursuit of happiness in the end, though?
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
not
are
everyone
you
has
guys-
the
Yeah,
same
it's
lane
struggle.
to pursue that
Struggle.
happiness. Not everyone has
Maybe
that
it's
same
not
lane.
love for some people.
You
It's
Do you
money,
think people
it's
go
status.
into
Yeah.
relationships to? I think sometimes people date other races to escape things. So like,
Oh, yeah.
I think that sometimes
Yeah.
maybe like, you know, if they, let's say they're black
Mm-hmm.
and their man has always been like real downbeat or
They're
whatever.
tired
I'm
of
going
it.
to marry a white man. He about to pay my bills.
Yeah.
You know,
and those are the ones
hear
I understand for dating a white guy, because you're just tired of it.
But see, how come they can do that, but a black man can't leave?
Yeah, why can't a black man?
That's
Because
Leave
because,
I mean, 'cause now
because
you-
the guy is always wrong. The man
What?
is always wrong. You guys want to say angry black women, but you guys do something to make her angry.
You guys-
and when you're
and vice
telling
versa.
your new white lover, yeah, she was just angry, you're not seeing why she was angry. And so white women believe, oh, he left her because, you know, she's angry. She's an angry black woman.
I
Those
think
are
the
all-
I think the female to male ratio is. I mean, first of all, there are a ton of you all, so it's a select few successful black men that are actually
Those
out
are
there
just
that
huge
can be.
generalizations anyway
Yeah.
across
I mean,
the board.
listen,
I mean,
man.
there's every single variation of why people like what they like or who left what, and what, it goes white, black, yellow. Everybody's experience comes to a different outcome.
So I guess as we kind of come to a close, so my last question is, what would it take for y'all to date the opposite party?
I mean, it really just comes down to personality. As far as like an approach, like I like what I like my taste, and let's say I see a white woman, right? She's just gonna have to look like the right type of white woman I'd like to approach.
Would your parents be okay with it?
No.
Okay. Yeah, I think
That's a
parents
huge
play a
part of
big.
it.
Yes,
That
let's
is a
talk about
huge
it.
part of
Let's
it.
talk about it. I mean, I think parents.
Well, when we were talking about the intimidation before, are they intimidated? I think a lot of whatever that fear is or that intimidation is comes from the subconscious feeling that your family may not approve, or that more so your grandparents. I mean, that goes back
Oh
to
man,
like
that's
more
old school, man.
old school, and
Man.
they're like.
When you step back
not-
into the next generation,
Yeah,
I
that's a
think
big-
you really
because they
see
grew up
lot.
in a different
They
life
grew up
where
in a
that
different
was.
They
time
just don't see
where
it at
it just
all.
was not
I
at
think
all.
we underestimate too sometimes. You place it all on you, and you internalize it all as why these white men aren't coming up to me. When the problem generally lies on that person. Maybe they don't feel like they're adequate enough, or they don't feel like they would bring enough to the table to approach you.
I think for me to actually want a white man in my life, he would have to understand my culture, my background. He would have to be real,
Yeah.
as real as I am.
I just need somebody who ain't gonna nag. That's it.
Okay.
You could be purple for all I
So
care.
that is all the time we have in the
Nag.
room tonight.
Control.
But the conversation still continues. Share your good, bad, and funny interracial love experiences with us online, and make sure to join the party on our next episode. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.